He does it and he does it and he does it. He's been associated with more cool things than you've ever. If you like it, he's probably been a part of it. It's our friend Lance Bangs. How are you, Lance?
I'm great. Midnight caller.
Midnight call. You are the midnight caller. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm having a great time. I'm having such a good experience listening to all this.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's working for you, that you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
And it's
a solid lineup you've been moving through.
We got some legit guests coming through here, and you're one of them, Lance. And Lance,
right.
First of all, I want to say you did an amazing job. You got these 2 Death Cab for Cutie videos that you did. They are great. Really fun. The one so exciting with the Roman candles. Is that what it is? I'm so bad. I've been doing this for 6 hours. Roman candles, amazing. You shooting fireworks off with the band, and you legitimately did that.
Yeah, we actually really got pyrotechnic experts, and they were willing to just take the barrage of fireworks in real life in real time.
It's a really cool video, and then the new one with you have the amazing Natalie Palmides in it.
Yes, yep, and Courtney Peruso. And did a great job. We had a nightmare filming that. I think you probably aware, and listeners probably aware about the delays in vinyl manufacturing and pressing, and how it's kind of affecting bands that would have normally assumed a certain amount of time to get a record manufactured and then start a tour. And that's all been sliding back months and months.
Yeah, everything has been.
I wrote a treatment kind of based on that, and assumed we could film at a place, and then could not find a place on the West Coast that would let us in to film.
For a pressing
so we
plant.
had to fly everybody from the Pacific Northwest to Athens, Georgia. So Ben and Natalie and Courtney and I all had to leave where we live to go all the way to rural Georgia to go have a location to shoot in.
That's wild. The record pressing plants are now being socked because, Adele needs to press 500,000 copies of her album, and
exactly
that takes. It's really a bummer, Lance, and you get it, because the mainstream record industry turned its back on vinyl for decades.
Yes.
Basically 25 years they turned their back on it, said it's worthless. It's a worthless medium, a form. And because of independent music, it clawed its way back the presence of vinyl, and people appreciated vinyl bit by bit until it became an actual presence again and a viable form of listening to music. And then, what a shocker, here come the major labels to ruin it after they had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I guess we know, just like our friend Nick Thorburn said earlier, to quote Midnight Oil, the rich get richer, the poor get the pitcher.
Yes.
And now, Lance, what was the first show you saw?
Oh man, I think it was the Fresh Fest 1985, like the Fat Boys in Montgomery, Alabama.
Wow.
At the Civic Center there.
So who was on the bill? Do you remember?
Yeah, Houdini, Fat Boys. Those are the ones that I was mostly excited to see. I think Swatch was sponsoring it, like the plastic Swiss watches.
That's so cool that you went to a show, like not the Swatch part, the fact that you saw Fat Boys and Houdini as your first show is pretty amazing.
Yeah. And then pretty shortly after that was general public opening for Hall & Oates on the Big Bamboo tour.
That's a good show.
It was actually really good.
No, it is. Hall & Oates.
And then, you
can't mess with Hall & Oates. They earned it.
No, absolutely.
And one thing people don't realize about Hall & Oates is that they had their hits, and then there was a really there was like a dry period, a fallow period in there before they got bigger than ever.
Right.
It's kind of amazing. They hung in there to get as big and as legendary as they did just by tenacity, because it was kind of going it was trending downward for them, and they managed to pull it together and get back and get bigger than they ever were. It's funny, with time those things get lost a little bit.
Right. It all just gets compressed.
Yeah, exactly. People just think the hits are the hits. Well, those are some pretty good shows. What's the first punk show you saw? Yeah, unless you consider Hall & Oates.
No, there were that was in Montgomery, Alabama, and then we moved back to New Jersey, closer to where you were based at the time in the, I guess, mid to late 80s, and started seeing hardcore bands. There was one called ATI, another 3 initials.
Okay.
They played at the Franklin YMCA and shows at City Gardens and everything that was going on there in Trenton.
Yeah, City Gardens. That was my place. I loved City Gardens. City Gardens, for people who don't know.
Someone drove a car through it.
What's
recently, that? Within the past couple of weeks, someone drove a car through the wall, and the whole building has not collapsed, but it's about to, any moment.
Oh, wow. That's it was in Trenton, New Jersey, in an area that seemed like they were just repainting stolen cars. That seemed like the vibe of it, because it was all these industrial, these shady looking industrial buildings that you had no idea what was going on in there. It seemed like from a bad movie, when they would pull a car in and then suddenly they paint it red and then it comes out the other side and they drive past the cops in the red car. That's what that place seemed like, what that neighborhood seemed like. But City Gardens was just this black box in the middle of that neighborhood that was that had just had the craziest shows there. I saw Flaming Lips there play in front of tops 50 people. Still the loudest thing I've ever seen. That was when they were the Flaming Lips, where that's when Wayne Coyne had a guitar, not a confetti launcher.
A DAT tape.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have a DAT tape and a bubble. He had an actual guitar on stage with him. They were so loud, and because there was nobody there, it was one of those things where it's like, well, if the place was packed out, those bodies would have been absorbing some of that sound.
Right.
But when nobody's there, suddenly it's just punishing. So you've had some kind of year. You're doing a little bit of everything. You're doing music videos. You had Jackass Forever, which was a complete triumph. Loved it. What else is happening?
Working on some documentary projects that aren't quite announced yet, but I think fairly soon will be publicly known.
Okay.
And visiting friends and just kind of taking care of family and traveling around.
That sounds like a pretty good deal, Lance.
It's been a good year.
Yeah. It's a pandemic allowed, because this is one of my favorite things about you, where it'll just be like, oh, I'm at this cool show in New York. And then suddenly oh my goodness, Lance is here. Wait, he's not from New York.
No.
But it's like you are the bellwether for cool stuff. Yeah, you like running around. It's amazing running at those things where it's just like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? And you are truly one of the coolest of cool people, if that sounds if that makes sense. I don't mean it in a not like a Fonzie way, but you have impeccable taste.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I want to know more about what you've done to get your living situation set up to foster these dogs.
Oh, it's very simple.
What changes did it make to your...
It's very simple. They show up and they take over every inch of your existence because they're awesome. No, it's just fun. Right. It's really been fun. Julie and I have had so much fun fostering these dogs and helping out ones who really need the help, and just seeing them move on to a different somebody else's they get to be like the heroes of somebody else's life, if that makes sense. Like,
right.
You help them get back to where they're healthy and ready to get adopted. And then you just know, it's like, look, some of these dogs I would love to keep. This dog, Alan, I love this dog. I don't know what I'm going to do. I love this dog. He's the funniest dude, and he fits in with the other dogs. I don't want to say exactly how. I'm trying to hold on to some vestige of as if I have control over my decisions, Lance. But we all know where this is going. But then you get to rescue these dogs, and then they really do change like an entire family's life gets changed. And that's just amazing to get to be a part of that. So, you can, we can, when you're back in LA, I'll show you the whole dog setup, Lance.
Excellent. Yeah. I'm curious to see the whole rigmarole.
Yeah. Well, I'm so backed up right now with these guests. I'm going to bounce. I appreciate you calling up and saying hi, and I hope to see you soon. And you continue to amaze me, Lance Bangs.
All right. Well, congratulations on the 24-hour broadcast. I'm having a blast listening to it, and look forward to everything else coming up.
Thanks so much, buddy. I will talk to you very soon. Okay.
All right. Take care.